Oh, and it's dead. You guys can probably hear my voice, but I just realized my video is frozen. There we go. Hey guys, I am here, and I am here with the original Ender 3. And there's a short story behind that, and I'll get to that in a minute. Let me know how things are looking. Let me know if this is coming in all right. I have turned up the volume this week because I was told a couple weeks ago it was too low in the beginning, so I think this should be a lot better. And I've played a little bit with the video quality. I hope that's also a little bit better. So we are at 1080p this week, and so if you're streaming on a larger display, that should look good for you. Again, every time. I love how I did that last stream and no one told me that the whole time I was crooked, and I watched it back and was like, you guys never told me. So I hope I'm vertical this time and not building uphill. And anyway, so I hope you have a beverage handy, because I do. I'm not going to talk for 2 hours and not have one. So I hope you are having a great Sunday. I hope wherever you are, COVID is under control. I know wherever I am, it is not under control. And so I'm in the house doing things like this, except when it's time to go get groceries. So that's my life still here in the United States, and particularly here in Georgia. So let's see who we've got in the chat. I saw DB3D Dan is here. We've got Chris Travis. We've got JS Tech. We got local hosts and Microtech and Pierre and Travis and the Island Engineer. And I'm going to forget someone. We have Amanda, who showed up here early. And Travis, I think I've already mentioned. So thanks everybody for coming in. Travis is saying the video is a bit delayed. Let's see. Lucas is asking about how that Ender 5 Plus did in my last video. So the Ender 5 Plus, you can actually see it's the one here on my new side bench that I've just put together, and it did perfect. I posted some pictures to my other social media and even here on YouTube, and the test prints came out terrific. It prints just like it should out of the box. Let's see who else is here. We're going to get some of these questions and comments out of the way first before I get started. Let's see. AV seems fine. Maybe a quarter of a second. Yeah, keep in mind that my audio, I'm still working on getting the AV sync just perfect, because I'm filming with one camera and then I've got my audio coming through the computer, and I do have it set up on timestamps, which should fix the problem, but doesn't always account for it perfectly. So I apologize if the AV is a little bit off. Yes, guys, Dan, doing my job for me. Please smash the like button while you're here. Let people know that you're watching. And I do have one request. I thought of this while I was preparing for this. Something I want you to leave a comment to the video. Don't put it in the chat unless you just want to talk about it. But if you can leave a comment on this video, let me know what 2 of the biggest matchups you would like to see in 3D printers. So this could be something like you have 2 different direct drive models that you've been debating on and you'd like to see a matchup. Say there are 2 3D printers you would really like to see put up against each other that you haven't seen done particularly. Please leave a comment. Let me know what those matchups you'd like to see are. Some versus videos, if you will. Leave a comment on that. That will also help this video get some traction. So like, comment, the usual stuff. If you're on social media like now, leave a share. I am really close to 10,000 subscribers right now, and I will let this stream know first of all that I will be having a big 10,000 subscriber stream, and I already have giveaways lined up. So if you would like to participate in that, if you would like that 10,000 subscriber stream to come sooner so you can possibly win something, again, I've got several manufacturers on board, and I will be giving away everything from a printer to accessories, and I don't even know what all I have coming yet, so I still have to contact some people I've worked with in the past, but I think it'll be fun. It's the first giveaway I've done. I haven't really done giveaways on the channel before, so it'll be fun. I'm making sure all my ducks in a row to do that the way I'm supposed to, make YouTube happy, make the IRS happy, whatever I need to do. Let's see. Awesome VT16 Turbo said he got the Ender 5 working with my upgrades. That's wonderful. Travis Stamper, it's going great. I can't complain too much. The kids are back in school as of a couple of weeks ago. All virtual here in Georgia, at least in my county. Ignore those other counties. But in my counties, the kids are at home. They are learning virtually, and I have to say, they are doing a terrific job here. They go through a full school day. It's just on the computer, but they still interact with the teacher. They still interact with their classmates, and I really thought that they've done a good job here. Let's see, tweet it out. Appreciate it, Dan. So if that is all, yes, Amanda, please. Amanda's absolutely right. Thank a teacher. I've got friends that are teachers. My mother was a teacher, so it runs in the family. I do this, and I have coached other schools on Science Olympiad. So this is what I do because I can't teach, because I chose another career path. So this is my teaching. Amanda, thank you for your teaching and your coaching. Thank you very much. Thank you, JS Tech. Let's see, am I back now? We're going to find out real quick. Can you hear me? Oh, he's back. Well, that was fun. I swear, this laptop likes to do one thing to me almost every live stream. So, I don't know why that is. Usually it happens before. Luckily, I had my cell phone. I could have just streamed through that. But my laptop does like to do this to me, I think, once every live stream. It usually happens before the live stream, and then I'm frantically trying to get everything set up. Let's see if everything's working. It looks jerky on my end. Is everything working okay to you guys? I think it's just because my laptop is doing too much right now. So give it a second. I'm not going to get started since everything is having to boot back up now. So that happens. But it's not a big deal. The chat, there should be a live chat button right underneath the video. There's usually a live chat button. So I think I'm good here. All right, let me see. Is OBS happy? Yep, OBS has a green light. So I think we're about to get going. Oh, we got the, let's go back to this shot until we need it. So. Okay, so what did I miss? I probably didn't miss anything. Yeah, the feed locked up. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Okay. So thanks again, everybody, for joining me. Sorry if I lost some of you guys because of the death of the stream. But like I said, hopefully this laptop doesn't do that again. If it does, it's going to be about time to replace my streaming laptop. Yeah, last time, Dan, we had over 100 people in here before the end of the stream, so maybe we'll build up some momentum. I know that there were like 2 or 3 other live streams going on this afternoon. I had mine scheduled first, but they came in anyway and decided to take over. We have some bigger channels, obviously, that came in with some Sunday live streams. So I don't blame people that are over watching their streams. I'm sure I would be watching them some if I wasn't here doing this for you guys. So, hey, thanks JS Tech. I appreciate that. It's awfully nice of you. Where are we at? So, we have had 120 playbacks. 36 people coming in here, but I am not going to hold up the stream. We will go ahead and get going. After all, the more interesting parts of the stream are going to be towards the end when we get to printing. Hello from Senegal. Good to see you. Again, guys, let's get going on this because I don't want this to take up your entire evening. Again, if you're new here, if this is your first time on one of my live streams, while I'm working on an Ender 3 or an Ender 5 Plus or whatever I happen to be working on, I don't restrict the chat to whatever you'd like to talk about. I know most of you have probably seen my Ender 5 or my Ender 5 Plus videos. If you have questions, if you need some tech support while I'm doing this, I always do my best to help in whatever way I can. And these live streams is a good way to ask questions, for me to interact with you, and for other people to learn from the conversation. So let's go with it. Again, if you haven't liked the stream yet, please hit the like button. And if you haven't responded to my comment question, please leave a comment on this video, not in the chat, but in the comments, on what matchup you would like to see in a video, be it 2 different direct drives, 2 different printers, what kind of content would you like to see? I'll add them to the long list of videos I already have planned. I think we have already heard from a couple of people who are waiting on my dual extruder video, some people waiting on my SKR Pro 1.2 video, some people waiting on I know I've said I was going to do a lot of things. That direct drive video for the Micro Swiss. Anyway, let's see. Yep, Tom is doing one live. I would probably be watching Tom's stream, or I know Chris's Basement was doing a stream. I'd probably be watching his stream. But I appreciate all you guys who have chosen to watch this stream, and I completely understand if you're hopping back and forth and you come and go. Let's see. Hey, Asker, good to see you as always. So as you can see, I have not touched this package since I got it a couple weeks ago. For the record, because everyone likes to know, this is direct from Creality. There's a little story behind it. So we were on a live stream with me and Jim from The Edge of Tech, and we were just chatting, and the contact that I talked to over at Creality found out that I had never touched an Ender 3. I think people are always surprised when anyone that does YouTube videos has never touched an Ender 3. So he sent me one, and that's what we're doing here. We're building an Ender 3 for the first time. As you can see, I've got Ender 5s, Ender 5 Pluses, because that's typically what I deal with. But, you know, everyone talks terrific about an Ender 3. It's how Creality really got their start. So I will be happy to have one to finally do some comparisons against, particularly if I get any other of the new Ender 3 models. Let's see. BL Touch on the Ender 3 V2. That's a good idea. I don't have a V2 yet, so I'll have to do that. Let's see. Yeah, scheduling's hard. People say they like the Sunday streams, but it looks like Sunday's kind of booked. Chris, it's Chris. Got a longer question that may warrant an even longer response. What's the best way to ask it without disruptive to the stream? How about you ask it? If I have time now, I'll answer it. If not, you can always tweet it to me, Facebook it to me, and we can go back and forth there. For people that haven't tried already, I do tend to answer social media as much as possible, the direct messages or the ats or whatever you've got. Because I like the interaction, I like helping as much as possible. As the channel is growing, it's getting harder to have drawn-out conversations with people. I always do my best to reply at least once or twice, get people going, answer the initial question. It's only when they sort of drone on do I sort of fall off, and it's just because of my time, but I do my best. I have avoided an artillery sidewinder because I've seen so many reviews of it. I know what so many people have thought about it, and I haven't done one myself. Chris is done. Tom's still going strong. Ender 3 lesser than an Ender... Hey, Tony. Good to see you, man. So Tony is in the live stream. He is chatting. So Tony is... me and him go way back to high school. He also has a podcast, so if you're looking for something fun, Tony's podcast is way better than my live streams in terms of just fun, everyday sort of chat, what's going on in the geek community. Check out Tony Podcast's stream. Anyway, so in Ender 3 compared to an Ender 5, it is a less expensive Ender 5. It probably cost about $150 lesser, and it has less frame. It has less mass to it. Let's put it that way without going into too much detail. All right. Yes, not Tony Cow, Tony Podcast. Let's see. Let's get going on this, and I will make sure. I'm gonna have to switch streams here. We're up to 50 people now. If you haven't hit like yet, please do so. We've got 48 viewers. We should have 48 likes. It only takes a second. So I'm going to go with this camera angle. If any point in time you'd like me to switch to my other camera angle here, I can. It's not a big deal. But let me go ahead and raise it up here, just in case. There we go. Maybe I will switch, or maybe I'll put up both. Let's see what we got. There we go. Let's go ahead and do that. So pull this open. Again, as you can see, haven't done this before. What do we got here? Foam. We have on top, which is probably the service card, the instructions. So go ahead. I'm going to pull out the instructions. I don't care much for the service card. So they have I don't know which camera to talk to now, but we have a nice one of these. Let's do it down here. So it's a poster instructions. Should be easy to follow. As I've mentioned here on the stream before, I typically follow instructions because that's the way the manufacturer intended all of this to be assembled, and I would hope other people follow those instructions as well. Went Ender 5 Pro, Tony says. What do you think of the Ender 5 Pro? Because I'm a huge fan of that printer because they took care of all of the initial upgrades. So the first video I ever did reviewing a printer on this channel was the original Ender 5. I had all of these upgrade videos of it, and basically they took almost all of those videos and turned it into the Ender 5 Pro. Again, I don't know if I had any hand in that, but that's what that is now, and so I'm a big fan of that because it's almost all the upgrades I originally wanted. Let's see. Okay. Let's pull this out. What we got here. This is the display. And we are back again, I believe. At least that's what my phone is telling me. It's going to be a little jerky to start out with, obviously, because, again, Windows booting everything back up. So I don't know if I'm running into an overheating issue or what on this thing. I don't know if I'm running into an overheating issue or something, so I have propped up the laptop to see if I can keep it from overheating, maybe. I don't know. I'm not getting a notice or anything saying that that's what the problem is. And again, this is about the first time, so apparently when the stream dies, so does all of the viewers in terms of like it tracking. Holy crap, dude. Totally not necessary, but totally appreciated, Asker. I appreciate it, man. So he's serious about this. He says buy a new laptop. Don't make us put up with this crappy stream crap. And I have to be honest, Asker he's always been a terrific supporter of this channel. Man, JS Tech, you'd already done one. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that support, guys. It really means a lot to me. So I don't know what to say. Thanks, guys. I'm okay. Let's see. So I've got that going. I guess since we are still streaming, then we are ready to go for now. If it dies 1 or 2 more times, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep this going, at least not with this computer. And if I disappear for too long, I'm worried that people will disappear and not come back. So we're going to try one more time, see if I can keep this alive. I don't know why it is dying. Let's see. I want to make sure the stream is good. Having a little bit of streaming issues. Thanks, Tony. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it. I feel like it is not streaming very good. Yeah, I've got a red, green, red. Tell me, am I getting a really choppy stream? It looks like it is on my end. Before I keep going. It looks good to you? Okay. Well, you guys let me know if the stream gets choppy or something, because I am seeing various levels of colors here, like it doesn't want to keep up. But there's no reason for it. Very choppy. All right, that's what I thought. Hold on real quick. That's what I get for... It's just unable to keep up with the bandwidth all of a sudden. Wonder if one of my kids decided it was time to stream something in the house. Give me 1 sec. See if I can help it out. Want a good experience here. Let's turn down the bit rate a little bit. Okay, let's see if that helps. We might lose a little bit of quality, but if we can keep the... I guess it would help if I had a mic this time. Refresh, refresh. Sorry, I had to run around that time, so I've got to get back into the equipment here. Yep. Just when you thought I didn't have any chances. So I don't know if you can see this on the stream, but no, you can't because it's covered up. Let's see. There we go. So I've actually propped up the whole laptop here. So if it is a heat thing, this will take care of the heat. It's not touching anything but a metal plate now. So, yeah. We're going to try again. Obviously, if it fails this time, I could do plans D and E. But I would keep you guys waiting way too long, and that is not the plan. Yes. Let me go ahead and put that in here. Yeah, well, the next plan would actually have me going to get my desktop and bringing it down here, which is what I did in like the very beginning of the channel. I actually ran this off of my desktop, which was much, much better because it's a much more powerful computer. But it's looking good. I am maintaining a green light on my stream this time. I really want to open the browser because it's how I chat with you guys. Otherwise, I'm going to try to do it on the phone, and that doesn't work nearly as well. Let me see what I can do. Please hold tight while I try this one more time. I'm going to close out some of these. I'm going to close out some of my tabs so that I am not overtaxing the computer. Close that one out. Okay, now I've got my chat up. So I did put the computer on a stand this time. The whole thing has a lot of breathing room now. At least I hope it does. Because I really don't want it to happen again. What's it say? What is going on? It says you need to change your resolution. Well, let's see what's going on. YouTube is not liking my stream settings. So let me go in here and see what's going on. Let's try that then. If it dies on you again, guys, I'm just trying to make YouTube happy with this one. They don't like what I'm doing. Give me a second. Okay, let's see if it's happy now. Shouldn't be that complicated. Okay, everything looks happy. Again, if I've screwed you up again, I apologize. I'm back. Alright. So this must have been, this was going to be an epic stream, I promise you. But we'll never know now. So, let's see. Spinning circle. Again, guys, I'm sorry, and I appreciate you guys sticking out with me. Everything I'm seeing here has a green light now, so I'm going to try again. If everything dies again, all right, so if it dies again, let's just go ahead and say if it dies one more time, I'm going to cut this one off for today. I will leave the printer where it is, and I will set this up again probably for next weekend or maybe one day this week, and I hope everyone can join me again because I can't keep jerking us both around like this. So let's see where we go. Yeah, we're adapting, we're overcoming. I can't fix a overheating laptop on the spot. That would be its own live stream, and apparently I would be doing it on my new my new phone. Anyway, let's see. Everything looks like it's alive. Again, everything is streaming correctly. Quality looks good. All right, where was I? Oh, apparently I needed something stronger. All right. Let's see. Here we go. So we have the display. Let me pull this over so I have room to unload. Dude, Otterling, thank you very much. Again, you guys are hooking me up, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I've got a couple of 2020 extrusions. You guys are trying to make good on this. Keep going, and I probably will be ordering that new computer tonight. I have no idea what this one's doing. If you guys tuned in 2 weeks ago, this thing was streaming fine 2 weeks ago. So I don't know why it decided to go out on me now. But, that's what happens. So, next up. Again, I guess I'm going to keep that second camera out of here for now. I'll switch back and forth between them is what I'll try to do. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it doesn't like the dual, at least not today. So, here is the base of the Ender 3. Now this one, well, Windows Update, sure. I never put it past Windows Update. If you guys have seen my tutorials, you probably realize I actually usually run Linux. I only boot up Windows to do things like this. I do have Windows on my video editing computer, where I also do Cura and stuff. Anyway, so here's the Ender 3 base. One thing I love out of the box, this thing does have the strain relief already built onto this printer, which you don't see a lot on their other printers. On the Ender 5 Plus, I have noticed that they've switched to putting silicone over this connector, which does protect it some, but I really like this hard, rigid strain relief on this printer. It's very nice, particularly since this has the moving bed. Let's see. On the bottom side, this is obviously where your main board is. On the back, front, I think this is the front here. On the front here, yeah, it's the front because I can see the front of the Ender sticker. So on the front here, we do have our USB plug and we have our micro SD card slot. So far so good. I'm liking the fact that you can tell that they've done a lot of upgrades on this printer since it has been originally released. Everything looks nice and protected. I like that. Real happy with what I'm seeing so far, particularly for such a aging printer at this point. It's aging well. Here is the hot end. It's the usual Ender 3, Ender 5 design. It has the side cooling fan, which at this point looks even smaller than I remember. Yeah, this fan on here is smaller. Excuse me. This fan on here is smaller than what you see on the Ender 5 models. It looks like the size of the physical size of the fan is the same size, but the actual fan, the thing that turns, is smaller. The rotor is smaller on this one. Don't know why. Same hot end that you get on everything else, but let me see. This doesn't have the hot end on it anymore. Okay, it doesn't have the fan on it. I'm not dead. Can you still hear me? My stream looks dead. There we go. What the hell is going on? Okay. It died, but I was still streaming. I think you guys could still hear me. Okay. Alright, we're back. I don't know what that was. Okay. I'm going to get this straight. I feel like such a noob. And how long have I been? I've been doing live streams almost longer than I've been posting to just the stock videos. So why I'm having problems today, I couldn't tell you. It's the Nargles. If you're familiar with Nargles, it's the Nargles doing it. So that was weird. Okay. Anyway, so here we are. The hot end, as I was saying. Let me go ahead and switch over. There we go. We'll go to this camera for now. As you can see, the hot end, what I expected, but again, this fan is smaller than I expected, even though the physical dimensions of that fan look the same. Same hot end that you'll find on the Ender 5s as well. Let's see. We have, this is going to be the carriage for the X. Let's see. So we have our Changlang power supply. This is the cheap power supply that they include on the, it's probably a lower wattage because this thing is super light. It's super light. But this is like the inexpensive power supply that they include on the Ender 5 Plus. But my guess, let's see. Yeah, this is a 360 watt instead of a 500 watt. It's probably going to be fine enough for this printer. This bed, being a smaller bed, is not going to use as much current. So I think it'll be fine. One thing I'm not loving, this does not square up the way I would want to see it square up here. Maybe that can be fixed as we go through install, but it's just a little crooked. Not loving it. In fact, I'm trying to see if this case is a little cracked right here or if it's just strain. I don't know. Not a big deal. Cosmetics at this point. Let's see. well, if you're unfamiliar with all the videos I've put out on the Ender 5 Plus, I had problems with the stock Ender 5 Plus power supply. It's a Changlang. That 500 watt supply that comes with it has given a lot of people problems because it's the bed on that's massive and it has a big current draw, and so a lot of people have had dead power supplies, including myself. So that's why I comment on the power supply at all. 350 should be fine on the Ender 3. So, what else we got here? So I did get an American power plug. I won't need that today because I already have a plug down here. Usual tools. I got a spatula. I have another part of my X gantry. We have our spool holder. I'm just going to pile it all up here. I'll get back to straightening it all out when I get the box off. Got a little bit of filament, not a spool, just a little sample. I've got I've got an end stop. I have the idler for the X-axis, and some extra hose ends there, hose clamps. In this bag, I have all of my tools. I have something to clean out the nozzle if it gets screwed up. If it gets clogged, I have something to clean that out. I've got the pulleys for everything. I'm going to lose my words now because that will be what I need to do next, is lose my words. As Evan and Caitlin say, words are hard. So, okay, one of my steppers. It says that this is my Z stepper. And I have a random screw that has fallen out of something in the box. I don't want to lose that. So I'll put it somewhere that I'll most assuredly lose it. And I have my... Okay. It looks like a rod that they use to shore up the Z gantry, or the Z axis on here. And these are probably my Z axis 2040s. So, is there anything else in the box? Nothing underneath. Nothing left in here. No other loose screws. All right. Now I can spread out a little bit to get this work done. Let me go back to my wide shot while I do this and check out the chat since I've been focused on unpacking. Let's see what I've got. 5 Plus came with the Meanwell. Yeah, I don't know why you guys got lucky with the Meanwells. I did not. And that was one of the reasons I purchased it direct, was to make sure that I got whatever their latest and greatest was. But let's see. Still running same. Creality, same here. Words matter. Let's see. Hey Brian, good to see you. Brian Vines from BV3D just dropped in. If you haven't checked out his channel, I'm going to plug it for you real quick. So BV3D is an excellent channel. He's doing 3D printer reviews, mods, unboxings, and now he's doing a lot of electronics work on the channel. So if you're interested in that stuff, check out BV3D's channel. There we go. All right, so let's spread out a little bit here so I can see what all I have and get organized. I feel like Adam Savage now anytime I do any of this. You know, the laying out parts. I feel like I'm like, okay, Adam always lays out all of his parts. I've always done this, but he kind of formalized the whole idea of laying out parts for some reason. Let me switch back over here real quick. Because I'm not sending out keyframes often enough. Strangely enough. It thinks I have a lot more control over my video than I actually do. I'm not used to YouTube complaining about my stream during the stream, so that's new to me. Let's see if I up the bit rate a little bit, if it will fix their problem. Or if this is going to kill everything. Let's try that. Okay. Okay. Keep going, Amanda says. I probably should. Let's just ignore it and keep going. I'm not dead yet. Am I dead? Nope. Okay, I'm not dead. All right, so let's keep going then. Amanda told me to. Let's see. Again, I've got this random screw over here. I'm going to need to get out my tools if we're going to do this. Quality's fine. Not dead yet. Thank you, Tony. Got the usual snips that come with this. David already knows where that came from. David says it is out of the Z stepper coupler. All right. It's good to know. And do my knurling of parts here. This is the fun part to watch, I know, so I'm going to keep talking through it. I've got my flush cutters. Yep. That is one thing you have plenty of when you build enough of these printers, is you have enough flush cutters. Tools. Definitely needed the tools. I'm going to throw those over there. The bags are nice and labeled. So since you guys tell me to keep going, even though YouTube's complaining to me, I'm going to leave it up to you to tell me if the stream goes south. You know, short of my laptop dying on me again. So let's go back to the close shot. So one thing I like, each of the bags is nicely labeled. Hopefully you can see that okay. There we go. So the bags are nicely labeled with the parts that it's for. I love seeing that. Makes it easier to find later. That. I won't be printing with that. Z-axis limit switch and my USB drive. The hose couplers and there is my idler for my X-axis. Okay. And I thought there was one more. Did I lose one? Nope, I'm good. Okay. So, I guess we can keep going. Let's see, step one. I'm going to put it here. I know you guys aren't going to be able to read this upside down. What am I thinking? Step one, we are going to put on the uprights. So let's do that first. Let's grab the uprights. These are the... Again, still trying to figure out... you know, when building a 3D printer, the best thing to do is drop your Z-rod. Just drop that on the floor. It helps it. No, don't listen to me at all. That was a bad thing to do. All right, do not drop your Z-rod. Yes, the more I know. All right, let's pull this out. I think I did, Brian. That's what I was talking about. Do not drop your Z-rod. All right. There's one Z. There's the other Z. Okay, and we're going to need some M5 by 45s, which are these guys. I'm not worried about that Z-rod. It is in a protective cover, which made it bounce a little bit, right? You can't complain. That thing is still straight. I'm not worried about it. Okay, so we are going to attach these, and I guarantee you orientation is going to matter. So we need to find the front. I would much rather do this with both of them. BL Touch issues. You know, I have to say the BL Touch is one of the most accurate, and I know this from testing, the BL Touch is one of the most accurate bed leveling tools that you can have. It is super precise. Its repeatability scores are really, really good. But it is a fragile piece of equipment, unfortunately. And I hear more problems with the BL Touch than I think I hear with anything else. So it is what it is, unfortunately. I don't know what to say. The pins get stuck. They can be easily miswired. Yeah. I love the BL Touch. Once you get them working fine, they're terrific pieces of equipment. But anyway, so I know you can't see what I'm doing on the other side here. I am taking my upright Z here on this side over here where the main board is. I am attaching it with the two threaded pieces. The two threaded holes here at the bottom. I am attaching on this side at the bottom. I appreciate all you being here. Obviously, this is not going on my highlight reel of ways to do live streams, between words mattering and having a decent piece of hardware mattering so that you can actually perform live streams. Yep, the left side has the two holes near the bottom for the stepper. Brian is absolutely right. Henry's enjoying himself. Thank you, Henry. So I think a lot of people would raise their hands to say that they have Ender 3s. A lot of people, this was their first printer. My first printer was the ANET A8. I know it became a joke amongst the community because it was the fire hazard printer, but I knew that before I bought it and had all the upgrades already sitting on the bench waiting. Had a new MOSFET all ready to go before I even turned on that thing. I was not going to have that. I need to make this a little straighter. I'm loosening it up. So I am going on the side here. I am making sure that I level it using my finger so that it is square. Because it does appear to be able to be put in slightly crooked if you're not careful. And I may have to straighten this up again later. We'll see. Chris Brian, do you recommend to throw the filament that I received with the first printer? I don't know what they're going to be shipping with the CR6. Brian, did you get your CR6 yet, or is it just on the way? Yeah, it depends on what it comes with. If it's a real spool, print with it. It won't hurt anything to print with it either way, but just do test prints with it. I wouldn't spend a lot of effort trying to get it dialed in for that filament. It's not like you're going to be buying any more of it. So that's my recommendation. So on the other side, It looks like these two holes, there are two holes, and they are going to be towards the inside of the printer. Brian can correct me if I'm wrong, but those two holes should be towards the inside of the printer. Brian, I was actually be very happy to bring you into this live stream if I wasn't having so many problems with my computer today and I didn't know if it would actually handle it. And I'm not running this off of StreamYard. So we're going to have to keep this in the chat today. Otherwise, Brian is an excellent co-host. Let's see, any good 300mm plus printers? Well, obviously, I will tell you, I bought a CR6 Max that will be coming in whenever they start shipping the CR6 Maxes. So that'll be a bigger than 300mm printer. I have high hopes for it, although no one's had a chance to see one or review one yet. I would like to get one when... I mean, I've ordered one, but I'd love to get a review unit so I could see it a little sooner than whenever they decide to ship them. Other than that, obviously the Ender 5 Plus. Not the best beginner printer, but it's solid once you get it going. I do want to try out a CR10 V3. A CR10 version 3 would be fun to try out. That's a direct drive. So I may get one of those if people have enough interest in them. Because I know I've wanted to see one in person. So, yeah, CR6 Max is a big boy. That's bigger than the Ender. That's bigger than the Ender 5 Plus. Let's see. What do we got? Did you get? Sean M.I. is asking, did I get my resin prints going? That's a complicated question. The quick answer is yes, I got them going. The more complicated answer goes into the fact that it's not going as well as I wanted it to, because the quality that I'm getting off of the printer that I had is not what I expected. There are some bad lines on it. Turned out that it's a hardware problem. Not systemic, meaning it doesn't affect all of them. I seem to just get a bad unit, which happens from time to time, even with reviewed units. So I'm still working with Creality, getting through that. I do have another resin printer that I bought myself, and I'm going to be using that for comparison because I had no other resin printers to really compare it to. So I bought my own resin printer to compare it to. So we will be coming back to resin on the channel. If you are a member of my Patreon community, I've already posted a video on the Patreon so that you know what's going on there. So the Patreon supporters have already gotten a video on it and been shown what the problem is, but as of right now, I haven't shared all of that information yet. Let's see, what do we got? I don't know what server you're on, Nova, but obviously I have amazing quality prints off of my Ender 5 Plus. So, I mean, your mileage will vary on any 3D printer, whether it's an Ender 3, an Ender 5, an Ender 5 Plus. Everyone seems to be getting different quality. So, I don't know of any printer where, like, everyone just produces immaculate prints. I have terrific prints. I mean, this first print that came off of my Ender 5 Plus was absolutely terrific. It's really, really smooth. And this was the first one that came off. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect, but it was really good. So, all right, moving right along because I'm taking too long. All right, so we need the display. So I'm going to turn it to this direction so that hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Pull this back. So the display will go on this side over here. So as you can see, here is the display. comes with 2 down here. This is something that people have complained about from the beginning. The PCB is open on this, so you need to keep your fingers around the front of the display. There are plenty of covers that you can print on Thingiverse if you want to cover this up. It has 3 inputs. We're probably going to be using 2 of them most likely. Or is it a single? Well, it does look like a single input actually on this one. So I don't know if they've changed that or if it's always been single input. But there we go. That's what we're about to install next. So we need 2 M5x8s. M5x8s. It shows that they're supposed to be black in the picture. I'll assume that the picture's just wrong because I don't see any black M5x8s. Okay, let's make sure if it's M5, it should be the same hex, but it's not. Go with the smaller one. Yep. Okay. Let's see. So this will go off to the side this way, out of the way of the moving bed. I have to say it's more slanted than I expect it to be. It looks like it's bent almost. It's so much laying down. I've seen plenty of pictures of this printer, obviously, and plenty of videos featuring it. But the display does look like it's laying down a bit more than I expected it to. You guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. If I'm missing any of the chats, my apologies. I am trying to keep going here while keeping up. Okay. There we go. Let's see. All right, everything looks like it's going well. Everything's still moving along. All right, so next up, we want M4x20s. These look like M4x20s. All right, so these are the M4x20s. They are silver hex head nuts, or excuse me, screws. And we are going to put the power supply on. All right. Let's go wide a little bit since I feel like I've been abusing that other camera. So we need to put the plug on the outside, and then we are going to go straight into the power supply. We have a screw hole here, and we have a screw hole up here, and that's what we're going to attach it to down here. I always try to use the tools that it comes with, but if I wasn't doing this on camera, I would probably be using my own tools. I find it to go a little bit faster than these hex keys that it comes with. Thank you, Ben Reese, for dropping by. Sorry you have to go back to work. That doesn't sound like any fun. Especially on a Sunday, if it's Sunday where you are. But thanks for dropping by. Again, I'm going to go ahead and repeat some of the stuff if you were not here at the top of the stream. A couple of things. I still don't like how that cover is sitting. Anyway, let's go ahead and switch my power. If you are new to building 3D printers, most of them are switched power supplies, meaning you actually have a switch on the side that you have to choose your input. I'm in the US, so I need to set it for 115. I'm going to go ahead and do that now while I'm thinking about it. Not 230. Okay, this is on here now. That's done, that's done. Oh, some of the top of the stream stuff. Again, this is my first Ender 3 that I've ever owned. It came from Creality. Thank you, Creality, for providing this printer. If you are interested in buying an Ender 3 because you have never done so, or you need your 5th Ender 3, whatever the case may be, check out my affiliate link in the description. It will help the channel out a lot, and it says thank you for providing this to my channel, to Creality. But don't want to oversell that. Only purchase if you need one. I don't know why I have to say that, but there it is. So am I back now? Maybe it's just that other camera it doesn't like. So now I just get to be all like manually operated camera, if that's what it is. If it's just switching over to the other camera it doesn't like. Who knows? Maybe that's what's going on. Because I seem to be doing just fine until I switched over to the other camera. So I'm going to try to stick on this camera and just move it manually. The show must go on, as they say. I'm a big fan of theater, so I can go with the theater mentality. And you guys have been way more patient than I deserve with all of this. So I'm going to just switch. I want to stick to this camera. We're going to see if that turns out to be the solution to the problem. Maybe it just really, that other camera, I don't know, too high quality stream. I'm starting to just wonder what's going on at this point. So, refresh. Okay, so one just manually orchestrate it here. Hopefully everyone's back. Again, I've appreciated all you guys who have contributed to the new laptop. This laptop worked just fine last time. You know, I like the way that you're thinking, localhost. It absolutely could be that. I do have a lot of components plugged into that USB port. I could be overloading it. Pierre's asking how many 3D printers do I have now? I currently have, I think I just counted. Now keep in mind, some of these are on the floor and in pieces, and some of them I don't use. But all total, about 9. That's why I'm building shelves now, so that I get more use out of them. But they're all different sizes, all different kinds. Some of them need upgrades, some of them need repairs. So that's how many I have currently. And some of them need to be donated, which is what I plan on doing with anything that I don't think I'm going to use anymore and that still has life in it. I would love to donate those to local maker spaces or to local schools. You could be absolutely right, localhost, and I'm actually going to try that later. Again, this is the same setup that I was running last time, but I very well could be overdoing it on that USB hub. All right, back to it. Let me bring up. Everything seems happy at this point. All right. So next up, is installed that. It wants me to install the end stop, the Z-axis limit switch. Z-axis limit switch. It's got 2 of the hammer nuts, or whatever you want to call them, on there. Here we go. Okay, so this one goes on the opposite side. So let me put this on top of here. All right. You can see, let me put this down. You don't need to look at me at this point. Again, switching to manual camera mode. All right, so let's go ahead and put, let me make sure I'm doing this right. It goes on the bottom, the two T-nuts. Goes in this way, obviously, because this limit switch has to be facing up. That's going to go in here. Let me see. They're telling me do this, not that. I'm not exactly sure what they're telling me not to do. It looks like it should line up roughly with the bottom of the extrusion. So that's what I'm going to do to start out with. I'm sure it'll have to be adjusted. So again, using my thumb here to line this up to make sure it's as straight as possible. All right, so that's good and tight. Don't over tighten this. This is plastic, and so I don't want to crack it. But it needs to be in there reasonably well because it's going to have this gantry coming down on top of it. Now we need to just take an M4 by 18P. Let's see, M4 by 18P. These are countersunk black screws. You guys still with me? I don't see anyone chatting. Say hi if you're still in the chat and I'm not talking to myself. Everything else looks like it's doing fine. There we go. So it is telling me that this motor. I need to install this motor, and it looks like these two countersunk screws go in like this. Okay, and then we have pre-drilled holes right here in the extrusion. I'm going to attach those right there, and I don't want to lose these. Okay. It'll go right there. Smaller. Still to do. All right. Don't tighten too much. Yeah, that's what I said. Are you talking about this? Because is that plastic also? Yeah, I think that is plastic also. Thanks for the heads up. Don't over tighten anything that goes into or through plastic. Okay, so Brian is telling me to go ahead and do the Z-rod, which is also in this step. So I've just basically finger tightened this just a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and take that Z-rod out of here. This is the one I have dropped once, but still appears to be perfectly straight, comparing it to my extrusion there. So I'm going to pop this in here. All right, it is, there we go. All right, it wasn't going in there right the first time, and I'm definitely going to need paper towels. They have this all greased up, so you have to clean up as I go. And as someone mentioned, what is missing the screw. So I'm going to put this screw that was loose in the box back into the coupler. Okay, I'm going to bring up. Now, anytime I do this, I like to let it float just a little bit in here. Well, these aren't the floating kind. It looks like it can actually seat in there. The original ones were these springy ones, and if you didn't put them in just right, they wouldn't float. They have to sit on it, and you wouldn't want that. But these look like these are the upgraded ones that are much more rigid. So I'm going to go ahead and just let that settle in there. I'm going to attach this. With the Z-rot off, it's a lot easier to get the X gantry on and make sure your eccentric nuts are aligned and you've got smooth motion. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, so I'm going to tighten this in here temporarily, according to Brian. I'm going to listen to Brian. Brian's built a thing or one or two of these printers before, so I'm going to listen to him. So I'm going to put that in there. Then I can loosen this up again so that I can line this motor. There we go. I see exactly what you're talking about. Now I will align this motor. Again, the point of this stream is that you guys can follow along at home. So I'm going to try to put this. So what I'm doing is I'm aligning this rod to go down the center of this extrusion. And then I'm going to start tightening it down. Because I want it centered. Okay. I like that technique a lot. And don't over tighten or you will pop that piece of plastic. So that looks good. Oh, Amanda's got to go. Thanks for dropping by, Amanda. I really appreciate you having you by on your first stream. Thank you very much. All right. So that is the end of the first side. I'm getting dinged all over the place. So apparently people on Facebook still don't know that I am doing a live stream currently, and I'm getting tons of direct message requests right now for odds and ends help, and I'm in the middle of a live stream. So let's see who. Yeah, I've got one, two, at least 2 or 3 people pinging me on Facebook, as well as some other people hitting me up on YouTube comments. All right. Can the Ender 5 Plus print at 100 millimeters per second? Yes. I do think it depends on the model greatly, and it depends on what your minimum line size is, and that's something that you can set in Cura. I tackled that a little bit in some of my Marlin 2.0 videos, but yes, it can, but the complexity of the model, the complexity of your slicing all play into that. So it's a more complicated question that has a lot of variables that need to go into it in order to answer it correctly. Pull this out when we're ready to put on the X gantry, but I still have to assemble the X gantry first. So I'm going to leave that there so it doesn't roll away on me. So I need one of my 2020 extrusions. Yeah, let me be clear, Nova. I want to say it will, and it depends on what you're printing. But with that being said, I do not print myself at 100 millimeters per second. I usually take quality over speed. The only time you'll catch me printing at 100 millimeters per second is if I need it fast. Like, I need this thing off the printer twice as fast, or not quite twice as fast, but a lot faster than I normally would get it off the printer. There have been some rush jobs I've printed that fast, and it does print. You will get something usable off the printer. It just won't look as good as the stuff that you will get at 50. I think that kind of goes without saying. 20% faster is what Brian's saying. I think that that's a good estimate. Okay, so I'm going to use the ones with the 2 larger holes. So you can see I've got the larger holes on here. Okay. I'm going to get M4x16 screws. Are these the ones that they mean? Yep, so these are M4x16s. Hopefully you're seeing that well enough. And I need the big gantry that has the extruder on it. Yeah. Here's the plastic extruder we all know and love. And apparently we're going to need some of these hose barbs to hook everything up. Okay. So we just need to put one of these on here. They are the same in the pack. So I'm going to go ahead and put one of those on right here. We'll grab one of my wrenches that it comes with to tighten that on. Yep, these stock couplers, definitely a problem. The plastic extruder, definitely a problem. So the plastic extruder will be probably one of the first upgrades that I do myself. These things are just too squishy for me. What else we got? And then we're going to take two of those M4x16s and attach it to the rail. Things like that are a bit extreme for a $200 printer. Maybe I'm crazy. Probably so. So we're going to attach this to the short end somewhere. Everyone's going to look at me like I'm funny here because I've never done this before. Like, how do you not know how to build one of these, Chris? Where you been? Building Ender 5s, apparently. So just take this. This goes in here. Huh. This way. No, that's what I'm doing wrong. How's this go? Alright, this way. And then we line it up. And we line this up. Aha! Okay. This shows I've never actually followed a walkthrough on this. So this one, there's a little cutout here in the extrusion that goes over this screw right here, and that goes right in there. And then they have tried to make this complicated by making you put the screws in here and the other screw in here. They did not make this clear in the instructions, by the way, so you just have to kind of align it and figure it out yourself. Brian can chime in if I've screwed anything up at this point. Although I guess it'd be more fun to just let me screw it up. There we go. Seems to be going in. Yeah, so I have to admit, I'm pretty happy with my Ender 5 as well. It's a much easier printer to build than this one. It takes a lot less time. Ender 3 crashes your laptop over and over again. It's not true, by the way. Alright, so that looks good, and these do have washers on them that will keep them from backing out, which I love when they attention to detail there. So that is on like it's supposed to be. I don't know why in the world you'd put a BL Touch on an Ender 3 or a standard Ender 5. I still can't for the life of me figure that out. Given how many people have problems with the BL Touch on the larger printers, which they are good for, they are useful for, I don't know why you would put a BL Touch on a small printer. I'm sure you have perfectly good reasons about how it's reproducible and all, but I wouldn't do it. And now we're going to take more. And we have our gantry, which is already over here. We need 2 of these screws. Ah. Okay. So, lining everything back up again. I'm going to take the extruder, put it up this way. We're going to take the hot end, put it this way. All right. And then we are going to grab our other end. We're going to put it this way on the back. And again, there's a nice cutout here, which this screw right here is going to go in. So we're going to put that right there. And we're going to attach that with more of those M416s that we used before. Hey Brian, good to see you again. Thanks for dropping by as always. Thanks for dropping in. Hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you later. How many people we have in the stream right now? I don't have my live numbers up here. I've got the chat broken out so that I can watch what's going on. How many people does it say are watching right now? $43. Sounds good. Appreciate it. All 43 of you. Thanks. If you haven't hit like, if you showed up late, hit like on the video for me. I mentioned earlier, if there's any sort of matchup you've been looking for, check this part against this part, or this printer against this printer, a video that you haven't seen done or done properly that you'd like to see me do on this channel, please leave a comment saying, hey, this is the kind of matchup I have not seen that I would like to see, and I think it'd be a fun thing for people to comment on. Please like other posts that you're like, yeah, I'd like to see that one too. I think it'd be a lot of fun. So leave comments to this video. I see I asked, and now 39. That's fine. So we're going to flip this around now. And now that it's all wrapped up, I'm going to flip it around. And then it wants me to go ahead and put in the X idler. So X idler, I'll loosen this up. Loosen that up. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and put these in here. I'm not going to tighten anything down yet. Just going to kind of get them seated. There we go. So those T-nuts are situated correctly. Then I'm going to get out the belt. That is for my X-axis. There we go. And this is pretty simple. We are going to take it in one end here. I don't know if it matters which end first. So let's go ahead. It wants me to do this side first, and you can't see it. Let me move things around. A bit more transparent here. So on the underside here, there are these hooks right here and right here. And I'm going to take my belt and I'm going to hook it into there. Just like so. You see there, that's hooked in. Hey, Thomas, the 3D printing Viking is in the house. Thank you for joining us. All right, we're going to take this, and it is going to go through here, which is where the motor is. Okay. So that is going to go around the gear of my X motor. We're going to take it back through here. I will get it through here one way or the other. Catching it all sorts of stuff, trying to show it to you at the same time. I'm not actually cutting anything, I'm just using these as grabbers. There we go. Okay. So first thing I want to do is make sure that this belt is laying flat. You know what, I did that wrong. I don't like that at all. That is not supposed to go into the extrusion. I did that wrong. Sorry. That doesn't go into the extrusion, it goes this way with your, what's that called? Aglet? Let's call it an aglet. If you know what an aglet is, it's that little plastic thing on the end of your shoelace. So we're going to call this an aglet. We're going to call that an aglet. That is going to be sticking out, not in. I did that wrong. I'm glad I called it now because I would have felt stupid about it later. We're going to then make sure that that is going around our gear correctly. I'm going to take this back around this way. And we go under our wheels. Is that how they do that? Is that correct? I guess they go under the wheels. Is that right? Has anyone done this before? All right, so it goes under the wheels, back around, and then that's going to go back in here. But of course, we need to loosen up our idler for everything to fit correctly. Loosen up there and pull it under right there. Okay, so now our little aglets are sticking out the bottom. Leon, how long will it take me to replace the main board? Not long. I've heard this one's loud out of the box. And I have plenty SKR 1.1s and 1.2s laying around. Got a couple of other ones. So yeah, I don't think it'll take me long to put a 32-bit board in here. It will need it. So now the big question is, will I go to the trouble to film it? Or have we seen enough 32-bit upgrades on the Ender 3? I think I know the answer, but I welcome your opinions. So I'm going to tighten this up by hand. It's not going to make a huge difference in the print quality, particularly on such a short belt. I'm going to tighten that up. If it's really loud indeed, then it will not take me long to replace it at all. So that looks good. Not a big fan about how that belt goes underneath there. In fact, there's like part of me like, is this normal? Do you really take the belt right underneath those wheels like that? Huh. SKR Pro. I think I need a slightly bigger electronics box, which I guess I could print. This doesn't feel right. Why would they take that underneath these wheels? Okay. I guess they're rolling. I guess it's not going to like hurt anything. Oh well. So that's it for that. And then this goes back on. Now Brian recommended, when he was in here, Brian Vines was helping me out. He recommended to pull off our Z at this point because it makes it easier to assemble. Now we used it to begin with. Our Z rod, our Z screw was used to line this motor up, but now that we're done with it, we can pull that off temporarily. And that will make it easier to go ahead and slide this on. So there we go. You can't see this. I want you to be able to see this part. This is part of the payoff, right? Alright, sorry. Again, this is manual camera mode because of all the crap that's been going on in the stream so far. So we're just going to... There we go. I think the eccentric nuts on this one, at least on this side, are definitely too tight. We're going to have to loosen that because it's not even going on. Oh, I've got plenty of... I actually have plenty of SKR Mini E3s sitting in my shop. Let's see. This box. Alright. So let's loosen this eccentric nut up a little bit. I probably hope I'm turning it right. There we go. Still a little bit tighter than I want it. Definitely tighter than I'd want to see it. Well, maybe it's fine. That seems to fit on there all right. I can just feel, I mean, it's taking a little bit for me to bump it up and down. But if I turn these wheels, the only one that's really tight is this top one. At least tight enough for me to turn the whole printer with it. There we go. When I turn this wheel on the back top here, it's working fine. These two seem loose enough. I don't know. It still feels tighter than what I'd want them to be, but it may be okay. I'm used to doing this on printers that don't have this big... I don't know. That seems fine. I can play with it again later. It's very tight, so it's definitely going to be true to the extrusions right there. It just happened. There we go. Let's see. Power Tampa. Let me see what he had to say. He or she, excuse me. I now put in a wait command so I can manually push the filament in to prime the nozzle, as I can only get retraction working in the start G code. Does not feed for some reason. I'm guessing that you do not have absolute mode turned on instead of relative. No, is it relative over absolute? I think it's relative. You want relative instead of absolute mode. Look it up. I don't know the G code off the top of my head, but there's two different ways you can set that extruder. I think it's G90 and G91 actually. Check out G90 and G91. Put that in your start G code right before you want it to retract, or whatever, and then that G10 will be taken as a relative command to where you are instead of an absolute, like versus some other number. So yeah, G90, G91, check that out. You'll need that in your start G code. I think that'll help you, Power Tampa. Let's see what we've got here. We've got that on there. Don't tighten too far. What's it telling us to not over tighten? this right here. I guess we can put this in now. Put this back in. I don't know what it's telling me not to over tighten though. Not like I've got anything I really over tighten. I think one side of this goes into that better than the other. Let's try the other side instead. It's a good lead screw. It falls almost all by itself. Yeah, G91 is what you want. Or what David is saying, and reset the extruder. Okay. So that should be in there good. I'm going to tighten this back down. It's telling me something about these screws here on the nut. Excuse me, on the lead screw nut. Don't know what it's telling me. It's telling me not to over tighten them. Don't know why you wouldn't want these tightened appropriately. Let's see, what's next? And then we're going to put the top on. We are almost done. Yep. Again, manual camera mode. There we go. All right, so we're going to put this on, and we tighten it down with M525s. Come in a nice little baggie here. That's going to be our largest. Yep. We're going to go another half an hour or so. Hopefully that will give me plenty of time to get the test print running. I hope. But past 5 is about it for me. What ThinkPad is this laptop? This ThinkPad is a P52S. And I'm starting to think localhost may have had it right, and I may be overdrawing my USB because as long as I have stayed away from that, as long as I've stayed away from that power-hungry camera, that the Canon that I was running, I'm not dying anymore. It hasn't killed my laptop since. So I may use that money that everyone chipped in for and buy me a powered USB hub. That looks like it's going to be the thing to fix my problem. At least that's what I'm going to try first. Localhost was in here earlier helping me out. He may still be around. He or she, excuse me. Okay, so what I'm ending up now is that I can't get these two extrusions to go together. So obviously one of my eccentric nuts seems to be too tight, something like that. So I'm going to start loosening things up a bit here so that I can get these closer together. Of course, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to tell which way to turn these eccentric nuts. No, that's the wrong way. It's getting too tight. Definitely not wanting to go together properly. You know, it's funny, you mentioned the fan cooler on this laptop. I actually have one of those boards, one of those risers that have the fan built in. But I don't have one that I could get to easy enough. So yeah, I do have one of those already. I'll have it next time. Your solutions don't solve the problem. Tighten this down. Hey Greg, how's it going? Good to see you. There we go. Now, does this move easily? It does seem to move fine. I am not even smashing the nozzle in, so the Z offset is high, which is good. I like where all that is. I'll probably bring down my bed a little bit, and then I can lower my Z end stop just a little bit more. But this is moving. Look how freely it's moving. I know I'm powering this motor with my hands, but it looks like it's very smooth, so I'm happy with that. Let's see. Just about done, like you say. There are some end pieces that will keep me from cutting myself. And they say that these go on the ends here. There we go, and one goes on the other side. Interesting. Okay. And what's left? Oh, we've got a filament holder. Wow. I know this just unscrews, right guys? Oh, it's supposed to just pop off. It's not actually a screw. Okay. And then we're going to, that goes around the back. Tighten this back on here. I'm not a big fan of putting the filament on top of the printer, but I'm also running out of room, so maybe on top of the printer all of a sudden it's not looking so bad. And we're going to put this over on this side. And we need to Yep. Is it dropping out? Sorry about that. Like I said, it's been the day for both internet and other issues, so I apologize for any stream issues. Everything was going great. I've even had terrific internet when I started. I'm wondering if one of my kids started playing a game or started streaming something. I'm going to have to do some research after this stream to see what they're doing. Okay. So, I don't know. Like I said, it's very possible I have a shared internet issue. I do have gigabit here at the house, something I paid extra for so that I could do these without issues, but it's possible. I've got 3 kids. It's possible one or more of them. Thanks, Yoav. I hope I'm pronouncing that. Yoav? Yoav? So, there we go. I do my best here, and that's all I can tell you guys. I always try. Let me get a sip. Nova, you are not wrong. I promise you one of them is playing Roblox, and I promise you I probably know which one. All right, so that's done, that's done, that's done. All we need to do now is plug in everything. We can probably handle this. So let's turn it over. I have to admit, while the mechanical stuff is excellent and wonderful, and you know, usually the point of 3D printing, the electrical stuff is really the part I enjoy the most. So we have Going through the checklist, we have the extruder plug, which, is this it? That's Z. Let's go and plug in Z. So Z's back over this way. So I know you can't see what I'm doing. I'm plugging this into the Z motor because it is labeled Z. I have the bed power, which is right here. Oh, wow. You need more than that. There we go. We'll do this. Okay, so we've got that, and we're going to plug in the bed power. I will work on cable management later, of course. Oh, this isn't bed power. This is all the electronics power. So this goes directly from the power supply to the main board. That's what we're looking at there. This is the same sort of connector that they use on the Ender 5 Plus for bed power. That's what had me guessing. Okay, so this is going to be for our display. It says we plug this into EXP3. EXP1, 2, 3. Which is all fun to get to because it's the only one blocked by the extrusions. So EXP3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yes. Yeah, I will. I know about these connectors. I know Maker's Muse has done a video or two on those. And then we have these three, which I can flip this back over for. Everything else I think we can get to from the top. So from here, we have, this is X. So X is going to be down here. That is X in stop, not XX. So where's the X in stop? There it is. Maybe I do need to keep it this way. Where did they put? Oh, there it is. Okay. So X in stop is hiding inside of this box. That's fun. Okay, X in stop plugged in right in there. We have E, so the extruder goes back to the back here. To right here. And X goes right there to that motor. So that should be it for the electrical wiring. I want to make sure that nothing looks like it is going to get hung up. Everything looks clean. Again, I'll work on cable management later, but as long as everything looks like it can move, I'll be happy to at least test it. I guess that's right. Okay. And then all we have to do is take our Bowden tube, plug that into our extruder. It does come with some Bowden coupler what are these? Little gap fillers so that our couplers don't come in and out. So the small one goes on the extruder itself, and a large one fits onto the hot end. And that will keep this from moving, hopefully from coming out, but also it gets rid of some of the wiggle. We're going to start moving everything in this direction because I think that that about does it. Let me know if I have missed anything. I have cut myself just once during this build. I don't think it's a good build unless your new printer has drawn a little blood. So mission accomplished. This one should go well. Did you do the Z in stop? Thank you very much. Did I do the Z in stop? I don't think I did. No, I didn't. But I also didn't see that wire. Thank you, Chuck, for noticing that. Let's see. Where did I miss that wire? X, Z. Oh, there it is. It is hiding and it is tight. What's going on? Oh, there it is. It's just really short. Okay, so I found it down here. And it's just going to go right in here. There we go. All right, thank you for catching that. How's that look? Okay. Trying to give you the best possible view given I'm doing manual camera mode here. All right, so first things first, I will power it on. Let's see if it powers up. Oh, I know I'm already going to have to adjust that in stop Nova. Absolutely. I'm trying to make sure I can get to the power plug here. All right, power on. Does it smoke? Does it work? What do we got here? Looky there. I've got my Ender Dragon. And I've got temperatures. So I'm going to come around front here. So that we can work together on this part. Okay. So it's not level. I don't like that it's not level. What do you think? Something is not perfectly square. I mean, it could be my bench, I guess, technically. I'm used to much heavier printers on here. All right. Anyway, so let's take a look. I'm going to, these are not even tight. So I'm going to crank down my wheels. Start low. Okay, all of those are all the way down. Go ahead, I'm going to need to go ahead and get these off the bed to begin with. Let me power off while I'm reaching around electrical components. Okay, so there are those. Does this come off? Okay, so they've just got, it is a flex plate of some sort. It's a weird flex plate. I have to be honest, I haven't seen one of these before. It is plastic flex plate with a cover on top. So this is new to me. I haven't seen one of these before. It's not metal, it's not steel. So that goes on there. It means it's not going to conduct heat particularly well, or at all. So let me line this up. There we go. There we go. Okay. And then, oh, that doesn't go on the side. If you put it on the side, it hits the, it's going to hit the uprights. So that's no good. Do that. Okay. Now it won't hit anything. At least that's the plan. Okay. Now I'm fair ways off of there, so I'm going to need to adjust that Z end stop. Let's see, everyone's explaining to Greg that I'm against bed leveling on this. I mean, if you have to use bed leveling because your bed's that warped, I'd rather put a piece of glass on it than to put a bed leveler. Bed levelers are a pain in the butt. Adds an extra step to your process. Now on a large bed, completely understand. I've got them on my Ender 5 Pluses. But I'd rather do a piece of glass than an auto bed leveler. This is really small. You shouldn't need to level a bed. You should just be able to put something on there that's level if it's this big. Now, if it's huge, it's different. Okay. So what I say I was going to do, I'm going to pull down my Z end stop so that I'm closer to the bed. Let's see. Okay, I think I can get the bed that close. Okay. Okay. That should be better. Let's power it back up. Yes, I am tearing a piece of paper off here. Okay. So next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and do a heat up, preheat PLA. Will that take me near where I need to go? That'll do 185/45. That's close. Let's do a control temperature nozzle. I'm going to take this up to 205 because I know that's what I'm going to be printing at, hopefully. Take my bed up to 60. All right. My fans are working. My cooling fan's working. My part cooling fan's working, and my hot end cooling fan is working. Now, I believe this should heat up fairly quick. It's a small bed. Shouldn't be too hard. I don't know what comes on here. Let's hope there's something just so I can get a print off. Because I've got a few minutes, and I am going to do my best to make sure that we get a print going. I'm going to take that in here. This is the micro SD card it comes with. See, did they add any of the bed leveling to the menu system on this printer? I doubt it. Move axis. Okay, so they haven't done any of the bed leveling. They don't have any of the auto bed leveling. So at the very least, I would want this, I would want the bed leveling menu on here so that it would take me around the bed. Firmware version 116.2 is what it comes with, 116.2. And again, this is a new printer direct from Creality. They sent this one over. Okay, we are at 105.60. I'm going to do some bed leveling. I guess we're going to do a home first. Probably should have done that first, but nonetheless. Prepare, auto home. Let's see if it works. Whoever said it was loud is right, but nothing I haven't heard before. Okay. Looks good. I'm going to disable steppers and going to kind of manually do this just to start off with, and then I will do the rest of my leveling as I print, because I'm pretty good at doing it that way. See, I hope I can get close enough, because that looked as low as that got. Alright, so I'm going to have to definitely move it around first. Otherwise, I'm going to have to move that Z a lot more. I still have screw here, so I think we're doing okay. This is not accurate. Again, everybody, I'm doing this quickly because I'm just about out of time. Okay, that's getting there. Since I don't want to burn my plate up, I'm actually going to keep the sheet of paper under here as I do it. It's a trick that I've learned that if you don't want to melt your bed while you're leveling, using that sheet as a way to do that is a much better idea. Now you're probably getting the back of my head. And I'm not able to watch chat while I'm doing this. It's pretty good. Okay. Just about there. Okay, that feels good. As long as it stays there for my print. It's a little loose in the middle still. How loose? It's not too loose to print. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Leon, completely. Leon's saying that I need to remove the lower part of that Z-axis stop because the springs and wheels will loosen. I completely agree. I probably should loosen those. I'll get rid of that sort of stuff later. There'll be some fine-tuning I realize I need to do. But let's go ahead and load this up. I'm going to go ahead and move that Z-axis up so that I can load the filament. And I grabbed a spool of my favorite brand here before we even began because I wanted some decent filament on here for the test print. I use Filament One almost exclusively here, except for just sample spools and other things I end up with. I love their filament. It's super smooth to print with, and I can tell you a huge difference in the quality of my prints when I use Filament One. Obviously, there are some other terrific brands, but this is one that's easy for me to get a hold of here in the US. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and load this up. And if you're interested in Filament One, I did include a filament link in the description, affiliate link in the description if you want to give it a shot. They also have something called the Profi box, which is a monthly subscription box, which I am a subscriber of, a paying subscriber of. Yeah, this is, beside the affiliate link, this is not a paid endorsement of their product. So that looks good. I'm going to pull back on it just a touch so it stops oozing. Hey, Aldi. Good to see you. So let's see if we've got something on here to print. I'm going to get back far enough in this menu. A knit TF card, print from TF. We've got a pig, a dog, a cat. So which one do you want, guys? The pig, the dog, or the cat? You're not going to end up seeing the entire thing until I post it to social later, because I'm not going to let this entire thing print right this moment, at least not on the stream. I'm going to let it finish. But what do you want? Doggy, cat, pig, of course. That was almost planned. I think you guys knew what you were doing ahead of time. You got 2 dogs, 2 cats. Come on, I need one more vote. One more vote, break the tie. Cat. It's going to be the cat. Oh, we got 2 for cat. Okay, so for y'all paying attention, we're going to do the cat. Let's see if we can get it printing smooth. So everything's already heated up. It's going to print at 200. I want to print at 205 because I know my material, so I'm just going to raise this up 5 degrees so I get a good clean print. All right. And I'm going to, if there needs to be any adjustments as we go, I will make adjustments. It's actually going on really well. It could be a little tighter, but it actually is going down really well. it is printing a raft. And I actually don't think I'm going to play with it a whole lot. I'm going to like tighten it up just a little. But it's really going down good. And I can't tell you how much the difference between printing with good filament and cheap filament makes when printing these early prints. Particularly, I think if I was a printer manufacturer, I'd ship with some really high quality filament to really show what my printer could do out of the box. I wouldn't ship with crap filament because that gives a bad impression of your printer. So I think I'd splurge to send out, 200, 250, milligram, or excuse me, 250 gram samples ahead of time. And there we go. That's an odd raft pattern. Usually it goes the other way, but there we go. So I don't know what else there is to say about that particular printer. Let's go over it real quick though. I can always find something to say. Let's see. It is printing terrific out of the box. I'm going to get closer for you. Okay, that should be good. I know it's not the cleanest shot. You really can't see because I can't zoom with this inexpensive camera. So let's go over it. The build went well. I think a couple of the tips and tricks that Brian Vines gave me in terms of the Z-axis really helped out with the assembly. It was, it's a job compared to like an Ender 5, but this is good for a lot of people that have never built anything like this and really want to know how it works, what the pieces are. It's way more educational for someone to assemble their printer than for them just to pull it out of a box and get going. So I don't mind the assembly on this one. It went together well. It is printing quickly and easily out of the box. Of course, I knew how to level the bed properly, which we already know is half the battle when you are a first-time printer, is learning how to level the bed. But it is going really well. I won't know, I won't have an opinion on quality or reliability or anything like that compared to like an Ender 5 until I spend some more time using this printer, which I do plan on doing. I'm going to make me a spot for it. It will be put in some regular rotation for some parts printing. I'll probably go and print some upgrades for this printer. Let me see. So I'm really impressed. It's printing clean. I can tell you that personally, the layers are looking really nice. It doesn't appear to be over or under extruding by any particular amount. It's printing clean. Can't complain too much. It is printing quite fast. I agree with you. They did a good job of finding a good ground, a good happy medium to print on there. This is currently $199. They were just running it for $180. This is a standard Ender 5, not the Plus or the Pro, or excuse me, always in Ender 5 mode. This is a standard Ender 3. This is not an Ender 3 Pro. This has no upgrades on it. This is kind of the bare bones model, but it prints. It prints well out of the box. I know why so many people were happy with this printer, at least by my initial test. Greg's mentioning he has seen these as low as 160. Al's wondering how my second Ender 5 Plus is doing. It's doing great. Sitting here over in the corner, I've used it to print a few parts. It's doing fine. I have some specific upgrades that I'm going to be doing on it in some very soon videos on the channel. Leon got his for 170 euros. Anything under 200. Again, you know, I'm going to go ahead and plug Creality's Creality Official again. I do buy these myself. If you guys know, last time I mentioned that my new 5 Plus that I ordered, I bought myself. It did not come as a freebie from Creality, and I buy directly from Creality. I've got 2 reasons. Number one, I've had 0 problem with their shipping to me. Once I order it, it only takes a couple of weeks to get here at most, particularly if I order from my local warehouse. Number 2 is that if I have any technical problems, I can contact Creality directly and there is no middleman. Quite often with Creality, if you have bought through a middleman, such as Comgrove or someone like that, they will want you to contact them first before you can contact them directly. So it saves the middleman if you buy direct. So something I recommend to a lot of people. Again, if you are thinking about buying this Ender 3 or the Ender 5, I have my affiliate links in the description that I really appreciate you using. As I commented a lot on the last live stream, it really does help the channel. Currently, all dollars are going back into the channel. So it goes to parts, it goes to filming equipment, lighting equipment, that kind of thing. I won't plug that too much, because I'm just happy you guys have stuck around with me so long today. And have made it through all of the hiccups that I've had with this stream. It's been rough. But it's funny, I can look at the little graph here and I can see where I had dips in my stream because of me cutting out. Thanks, Greg. I appreciate it. Yes, Dan, you are still here. Dan's been here since the beginning. Dan is still hanging in there. I appreciate that. Thanks. I enjoy the live streams. I enjoy the in-person interaction. So that's why, you know, it's worth it to me when everyone comes and just hangs out. So again, as I mentioned at the top of the stream, I will be having a 10,000 subscriber. I will be having a 10,000 subscriber stream with giveaways, which I've never done on the channel before. But I've had a ton of people that have come out, a ton of companies that have come out to help me with prizes. And so we're going to have printers, we're going to have parts, we're going to have all sorts of stuff. So I hope you all show back up for that. Keep subscribing, keep, you know, sending people over to the channel, letting people know that I've got, you know, halfway decent videos. I'm not giving away what the prizes are going to be yet, but they're going to be fun. Some of them are really nice. I'm trying, at least with as many prizes as possible, to send them internationally, because I know I have a lot of international viewers. So I will do my best with the international prizes as long as I can get them to you. I will. I'm going to foot the bill myself for any shipping, except for the large prizes. I'm trying to get the manufacturer to just hang on to those, and we'll ship those later, direct. So it is 5 o'clock. I promised my wife and kids that this would be my drop dead time on this stream. So given all the problems, I think we did well. And again, thanks for joining me. I will post this finished print. When it's done, I will post it on the socials. So you'll get it here on my YouTube community stream. You'll get it on Twitter. You'll get it on Facebook. I'll post it everywhere. And this live stream, I'm going to try to have available later if people missed it. But it has been so jerky and rough, I don't know how well it will... I don't know how it will translate to rewatching. I guess we'll see. Nova has a question. You have a question, Nova? Wondering what I need to do to get my enclosure ready for things like ABS and nylon. What do you mean, get it ready? Thanks, Wallaby, for hanging out. What do you mean? What sort of prep do you think you need to do? The main thing you'll need to do with an enclosure, like, is a lac table stacked. Just make sure that with that enclosure, you want to make sure that you keep the electronics low in the case because the heat's going to rise. If you see that it's getting too hot for your display, where your display starts turning colors, make sure that you pull the display and the electronics to an external enclosure so that they don't overheat while you're trying to heat up the entire enclosure. That's something that you're going to need to look into. Other than that, you know, it needs to be relatively airtight. You can put a fan on it if you want some circulation in there. But that's it. Thanks, NonFam. Thanks, Nova. Thanks, Leon. Anybody, Greg, Dan. I hope I haven't missed anyone here at the close of the stream. And thanks for y'all for hanging out. And I will see you next time with some upgraded parts so that the stream goes much, much smoother. At least that's the hope. Thanks, everybody.